you are. Action.
Act 2, Scene 1. There is a sound of thundering horses. The following day, Hopper's room in the Henry Miller Memorial Nursing Home in Fairfax. There is a storm outside. Much thunder and lightning. Hopper is lying in a small bed facing the audience. At the foot of the bed is a TV set facing him. Hopper is reading The American Way of Death when JB enters the room. JB enters dripping wet, carrying a box of See's candies.
Hi there, Hopper. Do you remember me? Do you know who I am?
I know I'm old and worthless and ugly as shit now, but I got my memory left, JB. How's the piano playing coming along? You here in another charity benefit? Or you just come to see me? Which I doubt. No one comes to see old fucks. We smell funny.
I've come to see you, Hopper. Really. It's been a long time. How are you feeling these days?
Life here at the Henry Miller Memorial Nursing Home goes on. Don't ask me why, because there's no reason, no answer. Ring, ring, ring. See that? No answer. Nothing worse than a ringing phone with no one at the other end. All of us flies, you know, with some S&M god toying with us for his sport.
The nurse just told me that you had a little trouble with your legs. I'm sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, a little trouble with my legs. They took all of my left leg, but they saved me half of my right one. What they expect me to do with half a leg, I still haven't figured out. Yeah, a little trouble with the legs. You got that one right. The pecker still works, though. Are those candies for me?
They sure are.
Well, what do you want me to do before you give them to me? Bark and roll over? Arf, arf, arf. That's the barking part. I'll roll over later. Maybe. Depending. Give them here.
God, Hopper, I'm really sorry they took off your legs. Jeez. When I saw you the last time, all you had was a little emphysema and cataracts.
It's called life, JB. You live long enough, that's what happens. They pumped me full of quality drugs. That's all that matters in the end. Ask anyone who's been there. The nurses' aides here, they read to me, practicing a shitty broken English.
He nods to the other book on the foot of his bed. JB picks up the book.
Oh, pulling your own strings. Well, you'll like this. We all have to learn to become more assertive.
This afternoon, they finished reading the chapter called Declaring Yourself a Non-Victim. It was all about how to demand prompt service in fancy restaurants.
Hopper holds up the book on his lap.
This is the stuff I like.
The American Way of Death?
Here, JB, read me the part about the embalmers.
Hopper, we've got a lot to talk about.
Hey, JB, what time is it? Is it 5:30 yet? Remember that? Hey, kids, what time is it? It's howdy fucking doody time. I used to think Clarabelle was this kind of insane. He was God, disguised as a clown and goofy, and he couldn't talk. Honk, honk, honk. He was one grotesque, scary fuck when you think about it. I used to think I saw Clarabelle on the crucifix with a phone in his hand, honking and shit.
It's almost 6.
Quick, turn on the tube. I'm missing the Hollywood Squares.
Hopper,
Turn on the tube.
Hopper.
Quiet. It's Charlie Weaver's turn. Charlie fools him every time. We should have had Charlie Weaver working with us during the war. Hal watched this same show a couple of summers ago. It's a beaut. Every single body on this show today is dead. Look there, JB. They got Charlie Weaver and Marlon Brando's old roommate, Wally Cox, Betty Grable, John Wayne, and Paul Lynde sitting in the center, dead, every blasted one of them.
I didn't know Paul Lynde was dead.
You didn't know Paul Lynde was dead? Where have you been, boy? Paul Lynde is as dead as a doornail. Died with a bottle of poppers under his nose. He liked to be tied up, hog-tied. I never understood that stuff. A single handcuff now and then, but I knew it. Betty Grable was the secret square. Look at how those neon lights blink around Betty Grable's box.
Betty Grable doesn't look quite herself now, does she? She looks so thin.
She was dead 6 days after this taping. What do you expect? Betty Grable should be grateful she's 6 feet under, so she doesn't have to end up in a place like this.
Hopper, I need to ask you questions. Questions of vital importance. May I turn off the TV?
Hell no! You bet your life is on next. Reruns return your life to you. Don't you know that? That's all there is after a while. Reruns, quality drugs, and no laugh track.
Well, then here, Hopper, read this and tell me what you think about it.
JB, there may be trouble ahead. What I'm talking about here is death. Meet me tonight before the recital on the 12th floor linen closet at 6 sharp. Skipper. The wording of this note is peculiar. It makes it sound as if the recital was going to be held inside the 12th floor linen closet.
I know that, but that's beside the point. Skipper tried to give me that note the night of the moon landing when we played for J. Edgar Hoover in Washington, D.C., and I just found it yesterday. And you were there, too. That night, Hopper, do you remember driving to Washington with us, the Hoover party,
Yeah.
69? Do you have any idea what your son was trying to tell me?
Actually, you know, Skipper wasn't my son. Take your time here, JD.
Skipper wasn't your son. You mean adopted or what?
I think it's the or what. Actually, you know, the only reason we said he was my son in the first place was so people wouldn't be suspicious.
Well, what was it that you were afraid of people finding out? But don't answer that. No. Yes. Do.
Actually, I had met him only a month before you did. It was all a cover, you see. You do see, don't you, JB? Take your time here, Slick.
No, I don't understand. What are you trying to say? What am I supposed to see?
You are supposed to see the obvious. Which is that actually, Liz, Skipper, and myself, all three of us, we were all part of the same thing. We were one. We were all secret agents for the FBI.
Secret agents? That's probably the most ridiculous. What? What?
That's right. I fooled you, didn't we? Sit down and shut up now, dummy. Here comes Honky Groucho.
But I thought Skipper and Liz were musicians, my friends.
Okay, then. The FBI would be seriously pissed if they knew I was telling you this. But screw them. They took away my pension and threw me into this shithole. So I don't figure I own what's left of my left leg. Right leg. Whatever.
I'm begging you, please, tell me everything.
What you want to know? I like it when you beg, JB. I might just roll over.
Hopper, that weekend in Washington, Skipper wanted me to meet him in the 12th floor linen closet of that hotel. Now, Skipper obviously did not want me to meet in the 12th floor linen closet because he thought the recital was being held there. Skipper wanted to tell me something that concerned death.
Right.
My death?
Yes and no. You can keep asking till you get 3 no's, and then I'm climbing up.
Skipper wanted to warn me about something that was supposed to happen at the recital hall that night.
Yep.
It was something about my solo piece, Debussy's Prelude La Serenade in Fond. Skipper didn't want me to play it that night.
I thought he made that clear.
Okay. Oh, he did. He sure did. But Liz did want me to play it. Why didn't Skipper want me to play my solo piece? There was some relationship between Debussy's Prelude, La Serenade, and death. Something was supposed to happen when I played La Serenade in
It shouldn't be that difficult to figure out. There's no big mystery. It's as obvious as that. Infatuated. Oversized thumb on my hand. I love big thumbs.
The piano was programmed. Oh no! Oh, fuck me in the ass.
I told you it was obvious.
The piano was programmed to blow up.
when you played the first 5 notes of La Serenade Interrompu. Yes, yes. You've guessed it before. Now let's watch my man Groucho.
The piano was programmed to blow up. My God, I would have been killed.
The secret word was house. Look, I love that sexy hot duck Groucho Marx classes with a $100 bill.
But why would the FBI want to kill me? I've never done anything subversive. I'm about as treacherous as George Finneman.
Well, don't be such an idiot, JB. Nobody cared about you. You were just the innocent patsy that had to be sacrificed.
Why? Why?
Why? Somebody had to be sacrificed. It wasn't going to be Liz or Skipper or me. Be reasonable. You see, it was J. Edgar Hoover we wanted to blow up. That's why we asked the old fool to sit on the stage with you. There was enough dynamite in that old Steinway to put the both of you into orbit.
But why would the FBI want to kill Hoover? He was one of their own. Their top man.
Why? Because Hoover was bonkers. Towards the end, he thought everyone was a commie. Actually, you see, it was an obvious case of homosexual panic.
Hoover was gay?
I figured you were born at night, JB, but I didn't know it was last night. Lately, I've been wishing the FBI had killed me just like they killed Liz and Skipper.
So Skipper and Liz were murdered by the FBI. The cow in the Capitol Beltway was a setup, wasn't it?
Probably. The G-men aren't known for their high IQs. Putting a cow on the freeway was certainly not very intelligent. As you probably remember, JB, that accident got a lot of publicity. Actually, I'm surprised someone didn't discover then what was really going on. But people in general are pretty stupid, don't you think?
But you, Hopper, you and Liz, the two of you were willing to sit back and just watch me fly apart to 1,000 pieces?
Yeah, but it would have been fast, kid. Actually, there are worse ways of going out. Auto accidents can be the best if they're clean, you know, like Jane Mansfield. Jane Mansfield got off good. I read where her head had rolled 20 feet to the road, like a bowling ball. She went real quick.
Hopper, lately there's been somebody following me. A man in a yellow Alfa Romeo with a large black mustache. The man has the mustache, not the car. And he looks a little like Gordon Liddy. Do you think he has anything in connection to this?
Connected to what? Everything's connected to everything else.
Well, connected to Skipper and Liz and the secret agents and for the FBI, all that?
Oh, well, I guess there's an exception to the connection rule. I can assure you, JB, that whoever that man is following you, he is not connected to the Liz and Skipper incident. That case has been in a dead file for years. I know that for a fact.
The lights in the room begin to blink.
What's going on? Why the lights are
History. Visiting hours are now history. You're going to have to skedaddle now, JB. Thanks for the candy.
So when Skipper was stopped my performance that night, what he actually was doing was saving my life.
Yep. He fell for you in the end.
He fell for me. What is that supposed to mean?
He had the hots for you, JB. More than that, Skipper loved you. He told me so himself 2 days before they ran him into a cow. That's why he couldn't stand back and watch you blow up.
Skipper loved me? You mean Skipper was a gay?
Yes, Skipper was a gay. Skipper was easy. He never said no. And because he was so hot, he quickly became the hottest item in the FBI. Those fellows drooled behind him like dogs.
What fellows?
The G-Man. Those guys will plow anything that doesn't move. And it was very exciting and unusual to find a stud like Skipper who didn't move. I plugged him once or twice myself.
Did?
Sure, everybody did. Even some of the CIA got in on the action toward the end.
I don't care about that dirty stuff. What I can't believe is that Skipper loved me. He loved me.
I couldn't believe it either. But Skipper had unusual taste. We always knew you were straight. You were so cornball.
All that time I thought Skipper and Liz were having an affair, and I thought he was straight. Hopper. Oh my God, Hopper. I've been so obsessed with the memory of Skipper all those years. I never knew why. I never understood why. I was always dreaming about him, but now I understand now. I loved Skipper, too.
Better work on your timing. The kid's been dead for more than 10 years. Ain't much fun left in that. Yeah, well, for some people. But I never understood that weird stuff.
He loved me, and I loved him. And we never knew.
Hopper watches him exit.
Don't take any wooden nickels, baby.
Hopper waits a few seconds before he picks up the phone and dials. He finally speaks very secretively into the phone.
It's me. I can only talk for a minute before the nurse comes in with the enema bag. You'll never guess who was just here to see me. No, not Wolf. JB. No, of course I didn't tell him that. But here's what I did tell him.
The lights dim to black. End of Act 2, Scene 1. Scene 2. Female voices sing a duet from Norma. JB's living room. The next evening, Connie sits on the sofa puffing on a cigarette, while Diana Wood unrolls a large ball of string across the center of the room. She then walks to the window and pulls open the curtain.
Ah, a full moon. Perfect.
You like the moon?
Of course, especially tonight. Because tonight, I'm going to teach you how to use the moon meditation as a means of reclaiming your female psyche.
Oh, is that what you're doing with that string? You know, lately I've become a little suspicious of the moon. It's like the dark side of things, you know? But that could be because of my brother. I told you about JB and the moon. He hates it.
Your brother also thinks the CIA is trailing him, so there you go.
You promised you wouldn't tell anybody about anything I told you about my brother's secrets.
I won't. I'm just surprised JB can't see through his own. I mean, being held by the CIA is the very most common complaint of paranoids, but we were talking about the moon.
You know what I was like about the moon? The moon cycle matches the cycle of my body. Or it used to.
And it will again. For century after century, the moon has been the seminal emblem of the female psyche. I'm going to show you how with concentration. You'll be able to follow the moon to your female center. Connie, are you paying attention?
I don't need to learn all this weird stuff.
From the Crawlers, my women's group. It's the most enlightened group in the city.
Slide, a group of women sitting in a circle, holding hands and chanting.
Frankly, I am just waiting for the day when this woman's movement stuff is going to get over itself. It just seems to get in the way of everything. Well, for me, right now.